So our next guest looks at clinical trials in a pretty unique way, and this will be an interactive demo. I'm pretty excited about this. If you look at clinicaltrials.gov right now, it's a huge database. It has about 115, actually closer to 120,000 different trial listings, and it's spread in over 170 countries. And I think what makes that awesome/daunting is how you can find out which trials are specific to you, which ones are actually going to help you get better, and where you should go. So what our next guest does is actually focus on, it's an algorithm that basically tailors the types of things that are unique to your clinical trial, and it actually responds to you via email and telephone call, and he'll actually do the demo of the call, which will be interesting. So I'd like to introduce Sharib to stage, and he's got a great service called Ask Dory. Actually, this service also won the National Cancer Institute Challenge that Health 2.0 put on, so let's welcome Sharib. So.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're very excited to be here for the presentation. I am Sharib Khan, co-founder of Trialx, actually, a whole online platform that we started in 2008 with really this mission of connecting patients and giving them the tool to find clinical trials near them. And as part of the platform, we developed Dory, which is what we're going to demo here, and we submitted to the NCI last year and won the challenge. Just to give you a quick background, we started in 2008, we're a New York City-based startup, and my team members, Dr. Chintan Patel and Amir Hussain, who couldn't make it here, who have helped develop the application. 80% of clinical trials are delayed because, it's very difficult for finding, to find patients for these studies, but patients want to participate, they don't have the right tools to search for trials near them. It's a painful process, and to connect with the investigators. And what I mean by that is that if you look at the government's database, clinicaltrials.gov, it is the clearinghouse where all these studies are listed. At any point, 20,000 studies that are ongoing are on the website, more than 100,000 overall since the 10 years that the service started. But if you go as a patient, you'll see it's really challenging to find a study near you. So I'm just typed in, I want to find studies for multiple myeloma. It first of all only gives you ability to find trials within a state. So let's say I live in New York and I want to find studies for multiple myeloma, and then when I search the site, the big challenge is, I got a survey to say how good it is. The big challenge is, as you can see, is you get a big result list with all these complicated titles like effect of AT751, which is very daunting for patients. Plus, you don't know these things like recruiting, completed, active. You really have to be a savvy user to understand that, I have to only find studies that are currently open and recruiting. But the bigger challenge also is that, let's say you were to select any of these studies here, you have to go down now to really find which, even though you put New York as a site, you really have to go down with this list of 300 studies, 10 study location, and now find out who's the investigator in my state, scroll down this list, find the phone number, find the email, and then make a connection. Now imagine you're a myeloma patient and you really wanted to help yourself a little bit. This is a daunting process. On the other hand, I'm talking about 2000, I'm just giving you a quick background as to how complicated this process is, and what we are trying as a startup to help in whatever ways we can. The other end of the spectrum is companies which are providing this listing of trials, cancer trial listings. Now, if you go there and you read, they're also using clinicaltrials.gov data. Well, they had an error here, but let's try to do this again. And I'm looking breast cancer studies, and I go and read more about the study. Now, there's no information for you to contact which sites are near you. You have to call their 800 number, and they are the gateways who are connecting you to sites. So we really wanted to solve this problem when we started Trialx, which is our main company where we are bringing Ask Dory and developing all these innovations. And we wanted, so here in Trialx, we basically, let's say we are searching for atrial fibrillation studies, and I can actually go down and find, sorry about that, the spelling mistake. Atrial fibrillation, okay. And I can find studies near me by putting the zip code. I quickly go there, and I can see which sites are near me. And then it sorts it by distance. which sites in EMA. If I select any of them and I say select and continue, basically I can put my information, press a button, and an email goes to the site like this. The dear investigator, find your study on trialx.com. This is my information. This is just a test email to show you, and they can then respond to the patient. But this is what Trialx was. But we really wanted to make the connection even better, and we learned in 2009, 2010 that patients also want to talk. They also want a guided approach. They always don't know what they're looking for, and that's where Dory came along. And we submitted this for the NCI challenge. And the whole idea with Dory is that we wanted to segregate and the user base by providing sophisticated search for those who really know what they're looking for, but giving an intelligent question-answer system to guide them step by step. And see, so I'll give you a quick demo. So let's say I'm looking for pancreatic cancer studies right now. And the first thing Dory does is it narrows down all the 18,000 trials that are in ct.gov and tells me that 252 studies that are currently open looking for pancreatic cancer patients. Then it asks me, do you want to be guided step by step? And I am a novice user. I really don't know what are clinical trials. I just heard about it. So I'm saying, okay, I want to be guided from start to finish. But if I was a really sophisticated user, I could also search, and I have the same searching capabilities that we currently have on Trialx. So I want to be guided. The next step, Dory tells me what is a clinical trial, give us quick introduction, why participate in a study, what happens during clinical trial, and then if they want to know more, we have this whole list of blogs on clinical trials called a clinical trial primer that we have posted, and patients can learn more about it. Now, as a patient, now I'm ready. Immediately, Dory asks me the zip code where I live, because we realized that the biggest preference is distance. You don't want to travel too far away from home when you're participating in clinical studies. So we want to know your zip code up front. And then how far you're willing to travel. 25 miles is something on an average that people are comfortable with, 30 minutes to 40-minute drive. Once you do that, Dory asks for your contact information, because now we are going to make live connections either via email, and as in Dory, which is the enhancement we made in this application, is live connection to the site. But let's say I don't really know much about Dory, I can skip the information. And then Dory asks, do you want to participate in studies that are only providing a treatment, or those studies that have just doing an observation, or both? I really want to participate in something that's intervention. I want to access a new treatment. So then I select that. Now, instead of asking patients, are you interested in phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, all these technical terms, we have simplified it and said, do you want to participate in something that are called early stage trials, which are the phase 0, phase 1 trials. And I really want to participate in something that's early stage, something cutting edge treatment. So I select that, and now as you're seeing, the list of 252 trials is getting narrowed down with each question, and this is the intelligent question answering system that we have at the back end. It's always asking questions based on your response, and based on the response, it's asking what's the next question. So if it already had found 8 studies without necessarily having me to ask all these questions, it would have started showing the results. So it drills down based on what my responses are. And now that I have 8 studies to select from, it asks my preference. Do I want studies ranked by how far they are from me, or how recently the study has been posted? So I really want to find something that's been recently posted, and I want to see that first. So as I select the latest trials, now you see that we have this study going on in New York. Now, instead of having complicated trial titles and display like melphalan, prednisone, thalidomide, what we have tried to do here, and this is just still work in progress that we need to see how patients interact with it. Instead of that, we have put the investigator name and the site name. So patients know, if I live in New York, I know New York Methodist Hospital. So I can make a connection. Oh yes, I know this study. I can read about it, more details, and I can sort of make a decision. Do I want to call them or send them an email? And this is what we want patients to do, that if they have some information, they recognize the hospital, connect them. Rather than asking more sophisticated questions to connect them in a very easy, seamless manner. So I'll show you how the connection works. I'll press the call now button, and I put my phone number here. If I had pre-filled all this information in the contact screen earlier, then all this would have been pre-filled. And when I call this, we are using a cloud-based calling service called Twilio, and hopefully my phone should ring if I have a cell phone connection. So that goes my phone, and if I answer that.
Hi, I am Dory. Please wait while I connect you to Dr. Muthuswamy Krishnamurthy, MD.
So now she's calling the site which I had told my developers to hard code the other phone because we don't want to disturb the doctors right now. So I hope they have done that. There you go. So I get this call. So if I'm the site now, I can talk to the patient. And on one end, I have the patient, the other end, I have the site. And I think this is a disruptive technology because we have had, over 3 years when we have been working with Trialx, connecting patients through email, we have had many patients who like to call and speak. And the other beauty of the technology is that if the site does not pick up, we have the option to either call another site, the next one that matched, or call our support center. So we can do all these kinds of ways to connect patient to a human if the need be. Now, if the patient didn't have time, they didn't want to speak to somebody, they can just say send an email. So we draft the email with all the trial information, and if they had pre-filled the information with the phone number and email, all that would have been pre-filled in this form, but I can just, put my information here right now, and my email address, phone, and when I press the send message button, basically this message goes out to the site. We have made 15,000 connections between patients and investigators in Trialx right now, and 70% of investigators reply. We are, and now that we are making Dory live on Trialx, as per se, we are hoping to see patients start calling. We can, through the Twilio interface, record what happens to the outcome of the call. We can even record the call if the need be. And we can even reach out to patients 7 days or 10 days later to see if what happened after the connection was made. And I'll get back to that in a little bit. The other thing we have provided in Dory, which we don't have on Trialx, is the view directions. So if they want to see how to get to the site, we have all this information. So that's where we are with Dory. And what we are trying to do this now, we are working with 5 hospitals and patient advocacy groups. So one of them is Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation. They are using our Trialx technology to power clinical trial search for their patients for myeloma trials. And this is live. 2,000 patients are using this service every month. They are super excited about Dory. They want it live right now, and we are working on integrating Dory in this website for them, and they want their patients to start calling the sites. We are also live with Cleveland Clinic. Cleveland Clinic is a large organization that's doing more than 1,000 clinical trials at any given time. Unfortunately, they don't have a very nice system to display all trials within Cleveland Clinic and patients going to the website to connect with investigators. So they worked with us, and we are powering their whole clinical trial search interface. They are super excited to bring Dory so that patients can start calling the investigators. We have Harvard Medical and Beth Israel. We have New York Presbyterian Hospital, and we are also working with University of Pennsylvania shortly. We're going to send out a press release that Dory is now available for patient advocacy groups and hospitals to come. Trialx.com/getDory. You can send us an email, and we will provide a white label solution with your logo, just like here, with your organization's logo, etc. And that will be hosted on our website, the cloud-based service, for a small monthly subscription fee. The other thing that I was talking about is this site, Collie, came out from another app that we won, but what we're trying to do is we're integrating Collie with Dory, the twin sisters, that once you make a call from Dory, once you call the site from Dory, Collie is the service that we can reach out to the patient and ask them through phone call or through text message, what happened? Did the doctor call you? Were you able to speak to the doctor? Has the doctor called you for screening? Or you were not eligible for the study? So that way we'll be able to track the outcomes of each call and each connection we make. So we're very, very excited about it. We have been there in the industry for 3-4 years. We have been using some amazing technology that other people are building. And our whole mantra is always to make HIT simple and elegant. And we're excited about these app challenges. With that, any questions you have? Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much.